Hey party people, I am back. Jeremy has come back to solo chat like The Rock, right? Jeremy has come back to solo chat. Okay, like that kind of thing, right? Well, I'm here to share my opinions on some solo games, solo news, things like that, the games I'm interested in, very excited about coming up in this last quarter of the year. And also just to share some games with you and let you know how they go so you can make some informed decisions on whether you want to buy some of this stuff. Because whether it's good, bad, or ugly, I'm going to share my opinion. And let's go ahead and get to it. So I want to share some of the games that I have been playing recently. And one of the games that I have been playing that's a solo game, I just started playing it, was a solo RPG game. Now this is The Wolves of Langston. I'll tell you why I bought it. Because the Facebook ads that keep coming down when you scroll and you keep talking about what you're going to do. Well, apparently I must have brought up solo RPGs because all of a sudden this kept popping up. It kept popping up. So it was speaking to your boy. And I was like, maybe I do want a solo RPG. Maybe I don't. Let me read the comments. And guess what? The comments are like, oh, they're awesome. I feel like everybody says they're awesome in the comments. Nobody's like, I don't like this thing. It was kind of trash. But anyway, I was like, let me look this up a little bit. Seemed to be pretty good. Well, if you like the 5th edition kind of D&D type stuff where you're just chucking dice and playing a character, this is what you want to go with. I'll be honest with you, I think this is a good one to start with. I just started. You get to roll a character. You can go to the D&D Beyond. You just load up the website. It actually walks you through building a character, or you can use a generated one with the race and the class and just kind of get through it. But really all you need is one set of dice. I got my set of dice down here in my bag. Let's see if I can get to them in 5 seconds. Get to them in 5 seconds. But I always carry games like this in my backpack with me, along with some button shy games to play. And this is another one. There's some other games that I usually rock around with, but I think that's the one that you need to know that I got into. Another one is actually the Havenfall that's right behind me here. Deliverance, sorry. Havenfall. Deliverance, which is right behind me, which I will have a full review of, so I won't talk about it too much, but it's a little bit of a dice chucker, a little bit of basically strategic movement, more tactical movement versus dice chucking. I said that in the review and I was like, oh my God. But that game is really interesting. I gave it a high score. So if you want to check it out, see what the game's about, definitely check out that review. Now, I'm going to talk about 2 games today. One is on crowdfunding and another one is out. It's going to be out very, very soon for backers, and you may have seen it in the thumbnail. So let's just go ahead and dig into 2 games I'm going to give very, very short reviews of so that you get an idea of what's going on with them. The first one I want to start with is 20 Strong. So 20 Strong. Big disclaimers here. So I've known Chip and Theory games for a long time. These are considered friends of mine. Thankfully, they don't make crappy games. There are some that I'm a little, okay, we know what those are. Okay, we know what those are. Hello, Triplock. Although I like it, I'm not saying most people love it, okay? I happen to like it. Soft spot in my heart for that one. But yes, I know them really well. I've done paid content for them before. But like I said, thankfully they make really good to great games, so I can talk about them. This right here is actually a prototype. I think these people are, this game is delivering super soon, so you might be able to find it on the website and pre-order it. These things, 20 Strong is a base game. It comes with the Sentinels, and then they have the Too Many Bones pack, and then they have the Hoplomachus pack. So you actually have choices to add this stuff here, but once you have the base game, you got the base dice to use for the other games. All right, you ready to dig in, man? That's enough. That's enough. Let's go ahead and dig into what's going on here. So we have the Solar Sentinels. Like I said, you're going to get this with the base game. So you'll have this one. What you're doing is facing off against aliens, trying to complete missions if you so choose to have them, and then fight bosses. You got a bunch of your regular characters here. You're going to pay attention to your stat die, so you'll have specific stats. This is your health. This is basically how many times you roll or re-roll, and this is how many dice you recover. Notice I said recover. Now, what you're going to be doing is facing off against these aliens who have things that will happen right away. You may have regular, you may have mandatory that you need to fight, but you're going to be looking at their health and what they can provide, because some of these, when you defeat them, they become things that you can use to fight other enemies on their turn. So you have choices that you're making based on who you want to fight, but sometimes you won't have those choices, but you're also trying to pay attention to mission. So you pull an enemy down, you roll dice. Now these 17, the other 17 dice that you have are going to be your dice pool to use at your leisure, however you so choose, to figure out how to fight this enemy. So I'm just going to use some high value dice here to make sure I got some hits, because all these have different amount of hits. And this enemy, it says, in the dice step, misses from this previous strategy phase are not re-rolled. Or it says for me, misses may be changed to hits when applied to a number 2. That would be for one of these cards, but I don't have it. So I'm going to go ahead and re-roll because I have this here, and it looks like I got the hits. All right, cool. So now what happens is I apply those to that enemy, and I put them there. This is 3. It's going to take them out. Now, these dice become exhausted, okay? And I can recover 2 of them. So this die remains there, okay? It remains there. I don't have anything. I can't pull it back until I maybe go to a future round. So maybe I want to use less dice. And what will happen is eventually you'll have to make choices along the way. You'll have these exhausted dice, and you'll only be getting back 2, or maybe you will start upgrading and getting back more dice. You may have your health upgraded, but these are the choices that you get to make. And at the end of this kind of thing here, you actually get to choose one card to move away, and that there's a mechanic to kind of get things going, for you. This one here, you're trying to get through one stack of cards and then face off against the boss. This is really simple. You have your TMB, okay, too many bones. That's what we call it TMB. If you're a fan of this, you call it TMB. All right. So you have your different characters here that you're going to be able to choose from. And then you also have your different baddies that you're going to be able to choose from. So if you're looking for that replay, there it is. You have different characters. You have your 1-point baddies, 5-point baddies. Those are enemies in different scenarios that you want to deal with. And just like Too Many Bones, and just like all of these, they have this very thematic touch to them. They sort of play out the theme here. And I think Too Many Bones will give you an idea. So if it's day 1, I play one of the 1-point baddies. If it's day 2, then I will put out 2 baddies, something like that. And then when I get to day 6, I will take one of these 5-point baddies here. I'm just flipping this over so you can see it. But then now all of a sudden you have, your 5-point baddie here, and this, you fight this enemy, and then you fight them off, and then you're going to be rolling your dice. So then let's bring these dice over here. So then I'd be facing off against this big enemy, and I see it's a big enemy, so I want to have dice that guarantee more hits. So I'm going to have to start popping off dice, but maybe I'm upgraded and I have more enemies to fight. So I have more hits here. I got a couple crits here. So let's see, that's 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ooh, hello, lucky rolls. Okay, so then I get to take these guys out, and there could be different things that I get here. It's telling me my stat will go up. It'll tell me, hey, I can use certain things. But of course, these enemies, of course, you have abilities, and just like Too Many Bones, thematically speaking, if you have misses, you can use those as your bones. And they have to match these colors here. But when you match them, you're going to flip this over, and then you get your innate ability, which is usually something cool. And that's 20 strong in a nutshell. It's very thematic towards what it's doing, but as you can see, these things have something that are a little bit similar. You can scout in this game and get rid of a card, and then you can choose between the 2, or you can gain health. And that's like how that game works in its loop. But of course, having these bosses is what makes it different, plus your different characters. The thing that I find is that you may have to decide like which one's the best set that differentiates your experience. I think the whole thing together is like 60, 65 bucks. So honestly, I think that's a safe recommend, because I'm going to give this game an 8. I think it's very good. I think it's great to play. You can take it with you anywhere. As a matter of fact, if you want somebody to join you on this, just to watch and like maybe help make decisions with you, I think that's there. But this is a solo chat. I'm not doing all that. I want solo stuff. I'm talking about solo only things. We're going to, you can definitely kind of talk it out, whatever, do it together. I'm sure people do that too. But what I've found is this game can be really brutal. So you can have situations where you get enemies stacked up on you. So like when this enemy comes, they may add an enemy to the foray. Like they may add 1 or 2 enemies to this, and this becomes stacked up, and your health pool can be very low, and you can die very quickly. Now to counter that, you can also have a big return, like a quick flip of these turns. I'm sorry, a quick kind of recovery of setting the game right back up, shuffling the decks, and getting going. You can also change the difficulty and not have missions, things like that. But it is still super tough. Bad rolls are just that, bad rolls. So you're gonna get, you know, if you're not a big fan of the dice manipulation thing, because there's not a ton of it, there is some. I'm not saying there isn't, but I found that it can be pretty brutal, not forgiving. I like the Too Many Bones one. I like the Hoplomachus one. They're both really fun. Hoplomachus seems to be the one. That was the first one I played, but I played in very, very prototype form. I played the final one. That one seemed the most thematic to me. This one just seems that more thematic mechanically, but I found that like these are sort of similar. So I just want to kind of emphasize that. It's not 100% similar, of course, but just take a look at them. Dissect it a little bit more. I think Rob's Tabletop has a gameplay. I believe One Stop Co-op Shop has a gameplay, and there is a gameplay on their site, on their YouTube page. Take a look at those and make a choice for yourself. You can see I'm just blabbering on, but I want to make sure you have as much detail as possible. Hopefully that gives you an idea. I do recommend this once again, and I do give it an 8. What do you think? What do you think about these games? I love these type of dice chucker games, but I'm gonna leave it right there. Let's get to my other game, Isofarian Guard. Boy, I'm stumbling on my words today. Let's go, bam. Oh boy, did you think I was just gonna lay this big old box out? You got to be kidding me. This is Isofarian Guard. This is a game that is for one player. You could play 2 players, but this is a 1-player game. It's kind of promoted as that. And you are playing these people, this pair of warriors, and you are going about and adventuring. You're trying to, you know, basically kind of Skyrim-ish, kind of, you know, with a little bit more forwardness, kind of just in tandem though. So you're doing kind of the cooperative thing, and it's played out of several campaigns, and each campaign has 2 characters, and I believe there's 5. So there's a way that the story comes together, hundreds of hours of play, and also a foreteller app that does all the reading. And I'll be honest with you, it's got really good music, and it's very well done. It's voice acted. It's very well done. Okay, everything in this game, everything in this box and in this game is really well done. And let's just go ahead and talk about what happens. So you're going to be moving about, and as you move about, you're going to be pulling a token to decide whether you'll have an encounter or not. And when you have an encounter, it's based on where you are and also the levels and stuff like that of the story. And you're going to fight. So you have these big boards laid out, and on the boards you're going to have your different ability cards, and those of course will be upgraded. You can unlock different things as you go along, but you will also be putting chips into a bag. Those chips you can also upgrade. So you can also upgrade yourself and the chips that go into your bag. So you'll have different abilities that come along the way. And what you're doing is on your turn, you're going to be taking those chips out and allocating them to specific actions. And when you activate those, they will flip over. Those will flip over, and they may become better actions or kind of build combos that go on in the game. You'll also have things that interact with your inventory, all kinds of stuff like that. So you're using those to fight against enemies, and the enemies have these very, very easy to understand AI cards that you're going to be pulling from, doing actions for them as well. So it's really interesting. There's this crystal system that shows you how many things you can activate. There's even abilities that use the crystals, and there's that as well, and how those upgrade. So there's a lot going on in this game. And of course, along the way, you're going to be going to towns, kind of fetching and retrieving things. You may discover things. You can do a lot of different stuff and encounter new ways to interact with this game. And I think that's a major plus. This game is going to open and expand as you move along. It's not just pick up, go here, return there. That is an element of the game which can be a little boring, and the grind of going back and forth and getting things back so you can build up. You can start building up the town that you're kind of recovering and expanding. That's awesome when it pays off finally, but to get there is definitely a grind. I'll talk about that in a second. Also, the combat setup. It does take, it's not even for like one quick fight. You got to set stuff up. Then it's like, boom, boom, I killed him. All right, now take that down, go back to the fight. And there's also moments where you want to interact with the map, and you got to get lucky and pull the token where you can. So there's kind of like this the delayed effect when you get to like the cool random quests. So you may not get to it right away. That was something I didn't like as well. But there are, you know, just kind of things that will kind of get you pulling the bag building part, getting chips put into your bag, things not coming out, you know, the way you want them. That's part of the randomness of bag pulling. But I also want you to know that that may grind your gears a little bit. That bag building stuff, although great, you may be carrying certain things with you that you don't want in the bag, and that could, when it's awesome, it's when it pays off for you. When it's not, it's not fun at all. So there are things that come out of your bag, but there's also things that don't. So you have that thing as well. I would say the combat is really smart and really rewarding just by the simple fact that you got one character that may be adding actions, and then you got the other character that's pounding them, and you feel like there's an interaction between the two characters, at least the first campaign I played. So it definitely feels like they're playing off of each other, and as you upgrade and make faults for the other person, that's where the fun comes in. So there's definitely, even for a solo player, that nice interaction. Let's say you're playing like Too Many Bones. You got two players, you like to play dual-handed. That's the feeling you get. Make up for one off the other type stuff, and then maybe upgrade them where they're synced up and then fight. This game does have that brutal effect. You're going to be challenged, which is really good. You're going to be challenged very early. You got to be smart here, and you got to deal with that randomness of the bag building. Could be good, could be bad for you. So what do I give this game? I'll just say this. The grind definitely held me back a little bit on this one. Setting up teardown can be a thing. I got better at it, but it's still a thing. And there's just so much content. Honestly, I may never get through all this content. There's hundreds of hours of content in here. That's exciting, but is it worth the price? And that's the key. This is I saw the crowdfunding here. It's quite expensive, and it's hard to see someone get things for so cheap. Be respectful of how much that they probably lost on the first project, but then looking at your price tag, it's almost like people who bought Gloomhaven for $99 now have to pay $250 for Frosthaven. It's kind of a weird thing, right? Gloomhaven is going up in price, and then Frosthaven is going low. You know, so it's the same thing with this one. That cost may be a barrier, but if you like to say, hey, I get a lot of quality, and I get, a lot more for what I paid. This is that type of game. It's not necessarily a lifestyle game, but it's definitely something that you have a lot that you're going to get back for investing in it. I don't know why I'm doing this hand thing, but I'm just going to go ahead and rock with it. That's why I think this game is great, though. The combat is awesome. I feel that journey. I want that journey. The writing is very good, and you should use that Foreteller app, no question. Isofarian Guard is something I most definitely recommend. If I was giving this game a score now, it is a 9. I think it's great. I think it's going to give you the sense of adventure you're looking for. And honestly, I feel like this could be your solo game of the year, and this will definitely be on my top 10 for games that I've played this year, specifically for the solo crowd out there. So this gets one of my highest recommendations. I can't express that enough. You can watch myself and Eric play the game on the channel earlier this year. He just drove up here and played. That wasn't sponsored. I backed this game, so you don't have to worry about that. He just came up here and showed it to me and played it with me. So I've had this one for a while. I was going to do a full review of it, but I think it's good timing to talk about it right now. There have been improvements. They have changed some of the things to talk about the grinding and more. You can find out on the campaign, or I believe on the previous campaign page in the updates to show you the changes, but they even have an update pack that you want if you want to buy it in the campaign. I'm gonna leave it right there. Give you a 9. This is freaking awesome, man. This is awesome. This is a great game. I feel so safe recommending it. It is a great game. All right, folks, let's get to my topic of the week. So, hey, folks, the topic is really simple. Stop backing these games, okay? What I'm trying to tell you, I know I'm talking out both sides of my mouth. I love these two games. I'm going to be doing a solo playthrough of this one next week. I love this game. I love both of these games. But there is a Mythic Mischief 1. You could play that solo, and it's a very good solo game, especially if you like abstract games, but this one has asymmetry, and it's just really smart and solid. And then you have this game, it's great, really smart, big sense of adventure, big box if you want that, but the price is really high for this one here, and the price is kind of debatably high for this one as well. You may want to get all the expansions and everything like that. Now, as that moves up, IV Games gets a little pricey. It's a little pricey, all right? But you're getting high quality stuff here, high quality stuff there. It's just, folks, play the games that you have. We are getting bombarded by so many very, very, very good games, or games that we believed were very good that we still haven't played. Let's say you're a Gen Con shopper. You still got Kinfire Chronicles that you want. Maybe you have Solar 175, which you didn't play yet. You got Revive that you just finally got. You finally got your hands on it from last year, and you heard it was a solo game that I enjoyed, and you were like, dude, I got to get this game. You finally got it. You ain't played it yet. Dawn of Eulos, have you played your copy yet? Did you get the Gambler's Chest? Have you played that yet? You already got miniatures to build. Did you get your adventure quest for Shadows, what's the name? Shadows of Brimstone. Did you get those? Put those minis together, play the game. You got something to paint too. So there you go. You got all this stuff to play, and all I'm doing is encouraging you to do exactly what we should, exactly what MVM shows you sometimes is all these new games, right? We show you all the new games, we show you all the hotness. But what I'm asking you to do is think about that, consider that before you go all in on this crazy quarter of crowdfunding. Hopefully we help you make informed backing decisions, but I want you to be real smart with your money, because there are some great games maybe that we showed you or you've tracked down finally. Play those, okay? Play those. I don't want to tell you what to do with your money ever, but definitely take a look at the games you have so you can decide whether you want to go back on crowdfunding and go for the and seek them out again, or crowdfund them again. All right, that's all I got. And that's all I got for Solo Chat episode 3. I just want to thank you guys for sticking around with me. Hopefully you watch some of my content. Solo Sunday is coming back. More reviews are coming back. I will even have a solo review. I just got to decide what game that's going to be. Matter of fact, let me know what game you want reviewed solo only, and I will definitely do that. I will definitely consider that as I'm choosing. And with that, party people, you take care. Let me know what games you're playing solo in the comments below. All right, folks, you have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining me on MVM. Hopefully everyone has fun at your table. I'm not kidding. I'm not just saying that at the end of the video. We're not just saying that. We want you to all have fun at your table. As a matter of fact, invite everybody to your table. Be cool about it. Don't be one of those. Don't be one of them. You're like, what is one of them? One of them, okay? Don't be one of them. Be a good person. Be respectful of people at your table. Make sure everybody has fun at your table. It's that simple. All right, take care.